Life is a journey best lived when you're doing what you love.
A man from Wiscasset learned that well when he spent all of last year chasing a little-known record across the state in hopes of breaking it. 207's Beth McAvoy has more.
It's just another day for Ethan Whitaker. With a scope, camera, and binoculars in hand, he's out on the hunt for birds. It's a routine he did hundreds of times last year when he traveled from Kittery to Caribou in an attempt to see every species of bird in the state of Maine.
You get nothing for it. There's no money, there's no prize, there's no nothing.
The record, only really known to serious birders, is called a big year.
A big year is this kind of unofficial contest that birders have where they try to see as many species of birds in a calendar year as possible. It's based on the good old-fashioned honor system.
Birds are tracked on a website called eBird.
Anytime you go birding, you enter into your phone or into your computer what birds you saw. And it keeps track of your year list for you.
The state record for the most birds seen in 1 year was set in 2017 when a birder named Josh Fecto logged 317 different species.
About 3 years ago, I decided I would try to break the state record and planned it out. Took care of some bad knees by getting the knees replaced.
He also retired as a software developer.
I also wrote a software program for my own use that basically looked at all the birds that have been reported in the state over the last 3 days and mapped them out on a map and prioritized them on the difficulty of getting them. I really threw some technology at the whole thing.
In November, he captured this bird in a cemetery in Biddeford Pool.
An ash-throated flycatcher, but this is very rare in Maine.
Breaking the previous record with 318 different species of birds.
When I broke the record, it was amazing how many people reached out, and it was actually very touching. All kinds of text messages and phone calls and emails, and it was really, really sweet.
Even though Ethan had just had a big year, reaching that goal didn't slow him down.
To be honest with you, it was just like, okay, what's the next bird?
Birds weren't even on Ethan's radar until a few years ago.
I was trying to impress a girl.
Who would become your wife?
Yes, that's correct. She was a birder, and she'd been a birder for years. On our second date, I decided to take her to Morse Mountain.
Ethan had seen snowy egrets there months earlier.
And of course, the birds had migrated south 4 months ago. I had no idea about that, and I looked pretty stupid. But she continued to date me and taught me a lot about birding, bought me a good pair of binoculars, and basically created a fanatic.
Some of the things this self-proclaimed fanatic has done?
Getting up in the middle of the night and driving 4 hours to hike up a mountain to see a little brown bird that big, that's crazy.
Ethan drove over 60,000 miles last year and only left the state of Maine once.
Had to drive up to Aroostook County 5 times to get rare geese and ducks that were up there.
It took dedication.
Well, I'm not sure it's a dedication, it's insanity sometimes. But
a lot of patience. And Ethan admits he could not have done it alone.
Believe it or not, a big part of this thing is networking, where people will let you know there's a bird here, hey, you're looking in the wrong place there, hey, do you have this bird? And so I would get calls and texts, and I basically had no social skills, so it was very, very difficult for me at first to try to get to know all these people. It was making the contacts was as big a part of birding as anything.
He ended the year spotting a bird that people from all over had flocked to see.
The favorite bird was the last bird.
Native to Russia, this bird took up residence in the mid-coast at the end of 2021. Perfect timing for Ethan's big year.
You just can't tell how incredible this bird was.
On December 30th, the Steller's sea eagle became Ethan's 324th species, setting a new record.
There he was, sitting on a tree, and it was so exciting. And it was amazing because everybody there knew or a large number of people knew I was doing a big year. And so there was all kinds of, what a way to finish, what a way to finish. It was very exciting.
Along the way, Ethan wrote about his experience in his first book, One Man's Journey to See Every Bird in Maine.
It was ridiculous, and it's incredibly expensive, and a total waste of time, and it was the best year of my life. Other than when I married my wife.
Turns out Ethan's big year taught him as much about himself as it did about birds.
This was a new chapter in my life, and it was crazy. I had a good career, writing software. I could have done it for a long while longer, had a good income, and I just bagged it to do this. And I think it's important to have passion in life. And this was amazing. It really was.
Sounds like an understatement. Well, Ethan documented all but 6 of the birds he spotted last year. He and his wife are already making plans to see as many species of birds in the U.S. and Canada in 2025.
They aren't expecting to beat any records, but they are excited to travel the country birding. Very, very cool.